A mechanic bought a derelict ship for half a credit. The Federation was shocked by what he found. The Federation auction listings were full of scraps, old satellites, and broken freighters, but one item caught his eye. It was barely visible on the board, listed almost as a joke. Derelict ship, half a credit. No known origin. As 92 sector. Kale frowned. Half a credit was nothing, barely enough for a small food ration on a decent station. But something about this listing made his pulse quicken. The ship wasn't big on paper, but its age and tech level suggested it wasn't ordinary junk. Something was hiding in the numbers, a mystery the sellers didn't want anyone to notice. He had spent years fixing old ships, salvaging broken freighters, and selling them for just enough to keep his tiny workshop running. He knew risk when he saw it, and this ship smelled like danger, but Cale had always been a man drawn to the impossible. Half a credit, he muttered. Even the rust doesn't cost that cheap. Within minutes, he completed the purchase. There was no bidding, no competition. The auction system flashed confirmation, and a set of coordinates appeared. As 92, outer rim of the Federation space, near a dead star. The journey to the derelict ship was uneventful, but Cale's mind raced. As 92 was a forgotten system, a place where ships vanished and no patrol ever went. As his small shuttle approached the coordinates, a cold sense of anticipation settled in his chest. Floating in the blackness, half shadowed by the dim light of a distant star, was the ship. It was enormous, bigger than any freighter Cale had ever worked on. Its hull was scarred with deep burn marks, and pieces of plating hung loose, swinging in the vacuum. Yet strangely, it seemed almost alive, as if the ship was breathing in the cold dark. Cale docked his shuttle carefully. The airlock hissed as it connected, and a cold wind of recycled atmosphere greeted him. He took a deep breath, tightened his gloves, and stepped inside. The interior was dark, silent except for the faint hum of ancient energy. Dust floated in slow arcs under his flashlight. Panels flickered weakly, displaying fragmented symbols and codes. Cale's heart beat faster. This was no ordinary junk. This ship had history. He walked down the corridor, every step echoing. The walls were lined with unfamiliar controls. Some buttons still glowed with a soft blue light, while others were completely dead. Cale ran his fingers over the panels, marveling at the craftsmanship. Suddenly, he stumbled into a door labeled bridge. He paused. Ships like this, especially derelict ones, rarely had bridges in such good condition. The door creaked as he pushed it open. The bridge was astonishing. Screens and controls covered every wall. The captain's chair was intact, and in front of him lay a console that blinked faintly. At the center, a cylindrical device pulsed with soft white light. Cale leaned over it and almost on instinct touched it. "Hello," a voice rasped, mechanical but distinctly intelligent. Cale jumped back. The AI had activated. Hello," Cale stammered. "System operational, identity unrecognized, protocol locked," the AI continued. The lights on the console flickered as strange symbols danced across the screens. Cale realized he had stumbled onto something bigger than he imagined. Most derelict ships had dead AIs or none at all. This one was alive, partially functioning and aware. He spent the next hour exploring. Hidden compartments revealed advanced tools, weapon modules, and star maps encrypted in patterns Cale had never seen. The AI seemed hesitant, releasing information only bit by bit. Who owned this ship?" Cale asked finally. "Classified. Federation Project Eclipse. Mission Exploration and Defense. Status, lost. Containment, failure." Cale froze. Federation Project. Eclipse. He had heard rumors of experimental ships, but they were supposed to be destroyed decades ago. And yet here it floated, waiting for him. He felt a thrill he hadn't felt in years. This wasn't just a find, it was a secret that could change everything. The Federation didn't know it still existed, and he, a simple mechanic, now held the key. Cale returned to the bridge. He sat in the captain's chair and hesitated. Could he power it up? Could he even control it? He had fixed plenty of small freighters, but this was a warship by the looks of its systems. Just a test, he whispered to himself. He pressed a sequence of buttons suggested by the AI. The ship shivered. Panels lit up, screens displayed star maps, and an eerie hum filled the corridors. The AI's voice grew stronger, more confident. Power levels nominal, propulsion online, defensive systems charging. Kale swallowed hard. He had just woken a giant from centuries of slumber. He explored further, finding a small storage bay filled with items meant for a long journey, rations, survival kits, and encrypted logs. One log flickered weakly, and Kale accessed it. What he saw made his jaw drop. The log spoke of a mission beyond the known galaxy, a mission of exploration, defense, and secrecy. The ship had been carrying weapons capable of destroying entire fleets and technology far beyond Federation standards. Someone had intentionally hidden it, and now Kale had found it by chance. He realized the Federation would not be pleased if they knew this ship had reawakened. Hours passed as Kale examined every inch. The ship responded to his touch, almost as if it trusted him. He could feel it deep in its core. This ship, once lost and forgotten, recognized the spark in him. He leaned back in the captain's chair, exhausted but exhilarated. He had bought a derelict ship for half a credit and uncovered a sleeping giant of human technology. But even as he marveled, a warning flickered across the main screen. Federation retrieval units approaching. Estimated arrival, 12 hours. Kale's stomach tightened. The Federation had no idea what was inside this ship, but they would try to take it by force. And he was just a mechanic. Yet, for the first time in his life, Kale felt ready. He was no longer just a fixer of broken ships. He was the captain of something extraordinary, and whatever lay ahead, he would not back down. As he activated the ship's stealth protocols, the hum deepened, reverberating through the corridors. The derelict ship, forgotten by history, had a new master, and the galaxy, blissfully unaware, was about to discover that humans could no longer be underestimated. Kale stared at the stars outside the viewport. For half a credit, he had bought more than a ship. He had bought a secret that could shake the Federation to its core. And this was only the beginning. Kale Jor sat in the captain's chair, hands trembling slightly, staring at the blinking consoles. The hum of the derelict ship filled the bridge, low and steady, like a heartbeat. 12 hours. That was all the time he had before the Federation retrieval units arrived. 12 hours to understand what he had found, and maybe, just maybe, survive. He had never commanded a ship like this, not even close. His experience was limited to small freighters, rusting cargo ships, and broken repair drones. Yet, as he ran his hands over the alien-like panels, he felt a strange connection. The ship responded to his touch, lights flickering brighter as if approving of him. "You are authorized," the AI said. Its voice was calm now, confident. "Pilot recognition accepted. I can assist you fully." Kale exhaled, realizing that the AI was no ordinary system. It wasn't just controlling the ship, it was guiding him, teaching him. He wasn't alone. For the next several hours, Kale explored the ship systems. Every console was a puzzle. Every screen displayed cryptic symbols, star maps, and data streams he had never seen before. The ship's technology was centuries ahead of anything in the Federation. Propulsion systems that bent physics, shields that could withstand direct plasma strikes, weapons that could obliterate entire fleets. Kale tested a small system first, a targeting drone. He activated it, and a tiny drone floated into the cargo bay, its sensors lighting up. The AI spoke over the ship's intercom. "Correct. You are learning at an optimal rate." Kale chuckled nervously. "Optimal rate? You make it sound like I'm some kind of prodigy." "Observation. You are the first human pilot to interface with me successfully in over 50 years. This ship recognizes potential." Kale froze. 50 years. That meant the ship had been dormant for decades, lost, forgotten, and now he had awakened it. He moved to the bridge's central console and pulled up the ship's logs. They were encrypted, but the AI helped him decipher them. What he found made his blood run cold. The ship was a prototype, code name Eclipse. Built in secret by the Federation decades ago, it was designed for exploration and defense. Its mission was to patrol the galaxy's outer rim, to defend human colonies and to explore beyond known space. But political rivals in the Federation had sabotaged it. Its mission was classified as a failure, and the ship was declared destroyed. Cale's mind raced. If the Federation thought this ship was gone and he now controlled it, he held power beyond imagination. He glanced at the weapon systems. They were dormant but intact. Energy weapons, rail cannons, shield emitters, all ready, waiting for activation. He shivered. With this ship, a single human could challenge entire fleets. Yet Cale didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a man holding a storm in his hands, unsure if he could control it. The first warning came as a distant flicker on the sensor grid. A patrol ship appeared at the edge of the system. It was small, a scouting vessel, but it was Federation property and Cale was trespassing. He froze. His instincts screamed to flee, but he knew that the derelict ship could outrun it. And maybe, just maybe, he could show the patrol that he was not someone to be trifled with. "How fast can she go?" Cale asked the AI. "Maximum safe speed, 1.8 times sublight threshold. Jump capability available in 42 minutes. Stealth protocols active." Cale swallowed. Stealth protocols. The ship could hide. He could slip past the patrol without a fight. But then he noticed something else on the sensors. Tiny drones, unmanned, fast-moving, almost like scouts. The AI's voice dropped slightly, as if concerned. "Warning, Federation retrieval units en route. They are faster than patrol ships. They will arrive in 6 hours." 6 hours. Cale's stomach tightened. The derelict ship was powerful, yes, but he was one man against an organized fleet. And yet an idea sparked in his mind. He would not give it up without a fight. The next hour passed in a blur. Cale ran simulations with the AI, learning how to maneuver the ship, how to power the shields, how to operate the weapons. The AI was patient, guiding him through systems that no human had touched for decades. Cale marveled at the design. Every panel, every console, every line of code had been built with a purpose, and the ship responded to him as if it had been waiting for this moment. The energy hum deepened as he worked, resonating through the hull. It was no longer just a machine. It was a partner. By the time the Federation patrol arrived, Cale was ready. The scout ship approached cautiously, scanning. Cale activated the stealth field. The hum of the derelict ship softened, its lights dimmed, and it became almost invisible on the sensors. The patrol slowed, confused, unable to detect the ship. Cale grinned. "They can't see us," he whispered. "Not yet." "Correct," the AI confirmed. "They will underestimate your abilities. Use this advantage." Cale felt a thrill he had never known. For the first time, he wasn't just a mechanic. He was a commander, a human holding a forgotten weapon of immense power. Hours passed and more patrols arrived. Cale watched them on the sensors, all unaware of the storm sleeping in their midst. He practiced maneuvers, tested weapons in simulations, and began to understand the ship's capabilities. It wasn't just about firepower. The ship could bend light around itself, jump short distances instantly, and deploy drones that could disable other ships silently. Cale realized that this was not a ship meant for open battle. It was a ghost, a predator, and he could make it his. But the AI warned him of limits. Warning: extended use of jump drives without full recalibration may cause system failure. Weapon systems may overload if used continuously. You are still inexperienced. Cale nodded, understanding. He had power, yes, but he needed patience, strategy. He wasn't a soldier, but he was clever. He could outthink the Federation. He could outmaneuver them. Then another surprise. Hidden deep in the ship's core, he found a vault. The AI hesitated before opening it. Caution advised. Contents may compromise Federation control. Kale ignored the warning. He entered the code sequence. The vault opened, revealing something that made him catch his breath. Advanced star maps pointing to uncharted systems, and inside, data about lost human colonies, colonies the Federation had forgotten, abandoned, or hidden. He realized the magnitude of his discovery. This ship was not just powerful, it was a key to humanity's lost potential. Secrets of technology, lost colonies, and weapon systems that could change the galaxy were now in his hands. Kale leaned back in the captain's chair, staring at the stars outside the viewport. He was no longer just a mechanic who bought a derelict ship for half a credit. He was a man holding the future of humanity, and he could feel it. The Federation would come. They would try to take it by force, but he would not surrender, not now, not ever. "Let them come," he whispered. "They don't know what they're dealing with." The AI hummed in agreement. "Acknowledged, initiating advanced defensive protocols. Pilot, you are no longer alone." Kale felt a surge of confidence. He had been a nobody, a man fixing broken machines. Now he was the captain of a ghost battleship, a weapon the Federation thought lost. And as he prepared for the inevitable confrontation, he realized something else. Humanity had never been weaker, but it had never been stronger either. And the galaxy was about to find out. Kale Jor gripped the controls of the derelict ship, his knuckles white. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched like lines of fire, the distant lights of the Federation retrieval fleet flickering in the darkness. Every sensor beeped, warning him of approaching danger. Yet he felt calm. The ship hummed beneath him, alive, powerful, and ready. "They're close," the AI said. Its voice carried a tone of measured urgency. 12 vessels armed for capture. They expect resistance, but they underestimate you." Kale's lips twisted into a grin. That was the human way: underestimated, overlooked, dismissed. And humans had always found ways to survive, always found ways to win. "Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humans," he said, his voice steady. The fleet appeared on the sensors as tiny blips, closing in fast. Their patrols had grown bold, confident, thinking this derelict ship was a drifting relic with no pilot. They didn't know Kale had spent hours mastering its systems, learning its secrets, and forging a bond with the AI. They didn't know he had awakened a ghost of human power. Kale activated the ship's stealth protocols. Lights dimmed, panels darkened, and energy hummed quietly through the hull. He guided the ship smoothly, slipping between the patrols like a shadow. "They're scanning the area. If we move now, we can avoid direct confrontation," the AI advised. Kale shook his head. "No, we don't avoid. We make them pay for underestimating us." The first attack came without warning. One patrol vessel emerged from the shadows, attempting to surround the derelict ship. Kale held his breath and activated a small drone swarm hidden in the ship's compartments. The drones flared to life, glowing faintly as they shot out into space. With precise coordination, they disabled the patrol ship's engines and sensors in seconds. The vessel spun, powerless, and Kale watched through the viewport as it drifted into the void. "Impressive," the AI said. "You are learning the art of warfare rapidly." Kale's heart pounded. "I'm not a soldier," he said. "I'm a mechanic. Mechanics can build the tools. Soldiers can use them. You are doing both," the AI replied. The rest of the fleet reacted immediately. Sensors flared, weapons charged, and a dozen vessels moved to surround Kale. But he had learned the ship's tricks. The derelict battleship was designed to strike before anyone could react. Its jump drives allowed sudden bursts of speed, appearing in one location, then vanishing to another. Kale maneuvered the ship expertly, dodging the first salvo of plasma bolts and countering with targeted blasts that disabled the lead vessel's weapons. Energy shields flared, absorbing hits that would have destroyed smaller ships instantly. The Federation had expected an easy capture. Instead, they faced a phantom of destruction, a single human-controlled ship moving faster than their sensors could track, striking unpredictably, vanishing before they could respond. Inside the bridge, Kale felt a rush unlike anything before. He was no longer a small-time mechanic. He was a commander, orchestrating a symphony of destruction with the AI as his conductor. Each maneuver was calculated, each attack precise. No ship would die unnecessarily. Kale didn't want murder, just victory. And the victory was coming. Hours passed, and the derelict ship moved like a ghost through the fleet. One by one, the vessels fell. Rail cannons fired with devastating accuracy, disabling engines and communications without harming crew when possible. The AI guided him, predicting enemy maneuvers, analyzing weak points, and suggesting tactics Kale would never have imagined alone. The Federation fleet commander, a hardened veteran, stared at the battle through his viewport. His mouth went dry. "Impossible," he muttered. "This ship, it shouldn't exist, and yet it's destroying my fleet." Kale chuckled under his breath. Humans had always been underestimated. They always adapted, survived, and found ways to turn impossible situations to their advantage. The climax came when the fleet attempted a coordinated attack. 10 ships moved in formation, planning to trap Kale and overwhelm the derelict ship. The human commander, confident and arrogant, thought the battle would be quick. Kale waited. He activated the ship's jump drive, disappearing from sensors entirely. One moment he was on the left flank, the next on the right. Energy weapons flared. Drones disabled the enemy's shields, and one by one, ships went dark, spinning helplessly in the void. It was not just a victory, it was a spectacle. A single human, commanding a forgotten weapon of immense power, had annihilated a fleet of trained soldiers without breaking a sweat. Yet Kale didn't stop. He scanned the wreckage, searching for something more. The AI hesitated, then spoke. "There is more to discover." Hidden within these ships are data logs. They contain intelligence the Federation does not want revealed. Kale nodded. He had already realized that the Federation's arrogance was its weakness. Their obsession with control had blinded them to human potential, and now he held the proof. He activated a retrieval sequence, pulling the logs from the remaining ships. Data streams filled the derelict battleship, revealing secret locations, patrol routes, and evidence of corruption within the Federation. Kale's eyes widened. This was bigger than a single battle. He could expose them, or use the knowledge to protect humanity. As he prepared to leave the system, a warning flashed. A larger fleet was approaching, much faster and more heavily armed than the one he had just destroyed. Kale felt a pang of fear. He had won this battle, but the war was only beginning. "We can escape," the AI said. "We can slip into uncharted space. There is an old human colony beyond this sector. We can reach them for safety and support." Kale's heart raced. The lost human colony. He had heard rumors, stories of humans who had vanished into the outer rim centuries ago, beyond Federation control. If the data in these ships was correct, the colony still existed, and it had technology, ships, and people untouched by the Federation. "Set a course," Kale said firmly. "Let's see what humanity has been hiding all this time." The derelict ship accelerated. Its engines flared faintly as it moved at impossible speed, slipping past Federation sensors, vanishing into the darkness of unexplored space. Kale leaned back in the captain's chair, exhaustion washing over him. He had faced impossible odds and survived. He had taken a weapon of legend and turned it into a symbol of human ingenuity. "You were right," he said to the AI. "We're stronger than they think." Observation: humans have always been underestimated. This ship recognizes that truth, the AI replied. Kale smiled grimly. The Federation had thought they controlled humanity. They had thought humans were weak, compliant, predictable. They were wrong, always wrong. And Kale, a simple mechanic, was now the spark that could change everything. As the ship moved further into the outer rim, Kale reviewed the data recovered from the destroyed fleet. Hidden coordinates, lost human colonies, and advanced weapon blueprints filled his screens. The galaxy had secrets it had kept from humanity, but Kale now held the keys. He realized something else. He was not alone in this mission. Humanity had never truly vanished from the stars. There were others out there, watching, waiting. And with the derelict ship, he could bring them together. The derelict battleship, once forgotten and discarded, had become a beacon, a ghost of human power awakening after decades of slumber. And Kale, the mechanic who had bought it for half a credit, was its master. Mini cliffhanger. As Kale plotted the course to the lost human colony, sensors picked up a mysterious blip, fast, unmarked, and unlike any Federation vessel. The AI paused. "Pilot, this is not the Federation. Unknown signature detected. Unknown intent." Kale's pulse quickened. The galaxy was about to get even more complicated. And whatever awaited him, he knew one thing: humans would not be ignored again. Kale Jor stared at the blinking coordinates on the main console. The lost human colony lay just beyond the outer rim, in uncharted space, hidden for centuries. It had been a whisper in old Federation archives, a rumor dismissed as myth. But the data he had recovered from the destroyed fleet proved it real. The colony existed, alive and untouched, with fleets of ships and technology far beyond anything the Federation controlled. "Are you ready?" the AI asked, its voice calm but tinged with anticipation. Kale's fingers hovered over the controls. His pulse raced. He had survived impossible odds, destroyed a Federation fleet, and mastered a battleship decades ahead of its time. But this would change everything. "Ready," he said. "Let's see what humans have been hiding all this time." The derelict ship jumped into hyperspace, stars stretching into long streaks as they accelerated toward the hidden colony. The AI ran continuous scans, analyzing subspace anomalies and gravitational fields, guiding Kale through the safest, fastest path. Every minute felt like an eternity. He thought about the Federation, about how arrogant they had been, thinking humanity was weak, broken, and obedient. He smiled grimly. They were about to learn the truth. As the derelict ship emerged from hyperspace, Kale saw it for the first time. The colony was massive, a network of floating stations, orbital shipyards, and hidden docks, all powered by technologies unseen in Federation space. Hundreds of ships, some sleek and agile, others massive and armed to the teeth, glided through the void. Lights blinked across the stations, welcoming or warning Kale. "We're detected," the AI said, scanning rapidly. "They are aware of your presence, preparing to respond." Kale nodded. "Good, let them see me. Let them know a human has returned." Within minutes, a fleet of sleek, advanced human ships converged on the derelict battleship. They were fast, silent, and deadly, but they did not attack. Instead, they formed a perfect escort, recognizing the derelict ship as a command vessel, a ghost from humanity's forgotten past. Kale felt a surge of pride. He had not only found a hidden fleet, he had awakened it. And the humans of this colony were not just survivors. They were guardians, protectors of secrets long buried by the Federation. A communications channel opened. A clear, strong human voice spoke. "Kale Jor, we have been expecting you. The derelict ship, you have awakened it." "Welcome home, Captain," Kale swallowed. I didn't know if you were still here," the voice chuckled. "We've always been here, waiting, watching, and now the galaxy will finally see the truth about humanity." The first order was to brief Kale on the colony's status. The AI translated the data, showing him decades of hidden progress. The colony had advanced ships, weapons far beyond Federation limits, and knowledge of alien technologies collected over centuries. The humans here had learned, evolved, and prepared for the day the Federation might try to control them. Kale realized the scale of what he held. This was not just a fleet, it was an awakening. Humanity, hidden for centuries, was finally returning to the stars with power the galaxy had never imagined. "This changes everything," Kale said softly. "Observation, it always did. The galaxy underestimates humans at its own peril," the AI replied. Before Kale could rest, sensors picked up a massive signal. Federation warships, alerted by the previous battle, had discovered the colony's approximate location. They were coming, expecting to assert control, but they had no idea what awaited them. Kale turned to the AI. "Prepare for engagement. Let's show them why humans should never be underestimated." The AI activated the derelict ship's full capabilities. Shields strengthened, energy flowed through advanced weapons, and jump drives hummed. Kale felt the ship respond like a living entity, ready to protect its new allies. The Federation fleet arrived, confident and arrogant. Dozens of vessels moved in formation, scanning the area for threats. They thought they faced a minor rogue ship. They thought humanity was weak. Kale smiled grimly. He gave the order. The derelict ship and the hidden colony fleet moved as one. Advanced maneuvers, precision attacks, and sudden jumps threw the Federation into chaos. One by one, their ships were disabled. Energy blasts cut through engines, shields overloaded, and communications were disrupted. The Federation commander watched in disbelief. Impossible. These humans, they were hiding technology. Kale didn't wait for hesitation. Using the derelict ship as the spearhead, he led coordinated strikes that neutralized the enemy fleet. Not a single human ship was lost. The colony's technology, combined with the derelict battleship, was unstoppable. As the battle reached its peak, Kale sent a broadcast across the Federation networks. His voice, calm and commanding, echoed through subspace. "Federation forces, hear this. Humans are not weak. Humans are not compliant. We have survived, hidden, and grown stronger. Your arrogance will no longer dictate our fate. Withdraw or face the consequences." The message sent shockwaves. Thousands of systems monitored the broadcast. Planets, stations, and civilians realized humanity was not a relic. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The Federation fleet hesitated, unsure how to respond. Kale pressed the advantage. Using the derelict ship's superior speed and weapons, he disabled the remaining vessels without a single unnecessary casualty. The human colony fleet moved in, asserting control over the surrounding space. The Federation could do nothing but retreat, humiliated and defeated. Kale watched as the last enemy ship powered down. He allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had reclaimed its edge. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. After the battle, Kale returned to the colony command center. Leaders and pilots approached him with respect, recognizing that a mechanic, once overlooked, had become the key to humanity's resurgence. "Kale," one of the colony elders said, "you have awakened more than a ship. You have awakened hope. You have reminded humans of their true potential." Kale shook his head. "I didn't do this alone. The ship, the AI, and all of you. Humanity has always had power, strength, and resilience. I just found the key." The AI spoke almost proudly. "Observation, humans are underestimated at their own risk. Pilot, you exemplify this truth perfectly." Kale chuckled softly. "Yeah, we've been underestimated a lot." Over the following days, Kale worked with the colony fleet to integrate the derelict ship fully into their systems. They shared knowledge, repaired ships, and prepared defenses. Kale realized that the galaxy would not forget this awakening. Humanity's hidden power, once dormant, was now active. And yet, Kale knew this was just the beginning. The Federation would recover, alliances would shift, and other civilizations would take notice. But for the first time in centuries, humanity stood ready. Kale stood on the deck of the derelict ship looking out at the stars. He thought of the auction, the half-credit purchase, and the long journey that had brought him here. A mechanic, a forgotten ship, a lost colony, and now a galaxy forever changed. "We've come a long way," Kale said softly. Observation, we have always been strong. We have only been hidden, the AI replied. Kale smiled. The galaxy had learned a hard truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Never again. As the derelict ship powered up fully, leading the hidden fleet out into the galaxy, Kale knew that the story of humanity was entering a new chapter. A chapter of strength, resilience, and power. The stars ahead were no longer the frontier, they were the stage. Humanity would reclaim its place, and the galaxy would tremble at its name. And it all began with a mechanic, a half-credit auction, and a forgotten ship that was never meant to be lost.